Welcome to Modern Mindfulness. This video will support you in bringing mindfulness more successfully into your classroom. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is simply a focused and relaxed attention. And these are universal skills that everyone has the capacity to cultivate when we practice them. So focus is simply the ability to pay attention to what is most important, or to get to know our experiences. And we're focusing all the time. When we practice this skill, it helps us to be able to focus under any circumstance. So right now, as I talk, I'm focusing on talking into a microphone. That's the main subject of my focus. And the second foundational skill is relaxation. This is the ability to let go of tension in our bodies. So take a moment just to notice what it feels like as you exhale, as you let your belly relax. There's a sense of opening. And so by practicing relaxation, we're learning how to be more open. We're learning how to be more open in our minds as well. So often students come to school and they're already full. They've had so many things happening at home, here and there, and then they get to school and they already have so much stress or tension in their bodies that it's really challenging for them to learn. So by practicing relaxation, we can be open to learning. And these aren't special skills. These are not skills that some people get and then other people don't get. We all have them. And mindfulness is simply making the space and the container to practice them. We apply focus and relaxation to these three techniques: relaxation, listening, and achievement. We tell students all the time to calm down, sit still, pay attention. You're not paying attention, pay attention. Or to achieve your goals, set goals and achieve them. But we don't actually teach students how to do this. So mindfulness gives us the opportunity to learn how to relax, how to sit still, how to be calm, how to listen. And then finally, focusing on achievement with more and more schools moving towards personalized learning plans. Students need to learn how to set goals that are positive and realistic, how to use their imaginations in a way that's creative and constructive and can help them be more happy and successful. The mindful messages. At the end of every exercise, there's a mindful message. And this is a very important bridge that takes the skills and techniques that we're practicing in the 5 minutes and applies them to everyday life. So one example of a mindful message is, when we are mindful, we express ourselves with confidence. Take a couple of moments to have a conversation. What does it mean to express ourselves with confidence? What is confidence? What does that feel like? What does it feel like when we're not confident? Can you think of a time when you didn't express yourself with confidence? So again, we're taking this magnifying glass of mindfulness. We're taking this really gentle curiosity to explore our experiences so that we can learn from them. Notice, well, actually, when the other day when I was talking with a friend, he wanted me to do something that I didn't want to do, and I wasn't really feeling confident. I actually felt like I was getting smaller and my body felt tight. So it can be really helpful to know that. So the next time we're in a conversation and we feel our body get tight, we can apply the relaxation technique. Or we can create positive mental talk in our head so that we can say, actually, I don't want to do that. We recommend that teachers refer back to the mindful message several times throughout the day. So you write it on the board somewhere big where everyone in the class can see. And several times refer back to it. Remember, when we are mindful, we use our breath to relax. Let's take a moment just to do that. Or who has done that this morning? All right, let's try to do that between now and the next class. So there are a lot of different ways to be creative with the mindful message that will help us integrate mindfulness more fully into our days. And this can be a practice for us as well. And I really encourage you to use this as a practice in your life too, because we are our first students. How we validate ourselves is how we validate the students. So the next time we have a student in our class who is bored and uncomfortable, bingo, I know what that's like. And then the second step is that we empower them to use mindfulness. You know what? I know what that's like. And the other day I had a similar experience, and I decided to focus my attention on my belly, on relaxation in my body. And that helped me be a little more calm and a little more relaxed. It's important for us to encourage the students to use mindfulness as the way forward. So we have several common student reports. Students will often say, I liked it or I didn't like it. They might not say those exact words. And so again, we are grateful. Thank you for being honest. As teachers, that's what our job is to make sure that we are creating an environment in the classroom that feels safe for students to be honest. So thank you for sharing. Sometimes we really like doing things and sometimes we don't. And this is actually why we practice mindfulness. We learn to relax and make our tasks more enjoyable, whether we like them or not. And if we can relax in any circumstance, that is a very powerful skill that will help us for the rest of our lives. Second, it was interesting or I was bored. Again, we're not trying to change the student's experience. And it's okay because we're practicing this too. A lot of times when I first started teaching mindfulness, I noticed a lot of times when students said I was bored, there was this tightness that came up in my body because I wanted it to be interesting for them. I wanted them to like it. And that's okay. So we just notice that in ourselves. And so we say, thank you for sharing. Again, thanks for being honest. Sometimes we find things that are very interesting, and that means it can be easier to do. And sometimes we find things that are boring, and sometimes that's challenging. Maybe it's not challenging. But this is why we practice. We learn how to focus so that we can make everything interesting. What the validate and empower does is it turns obstacles into opportunities so that whatever your experience is, whatever the student's experience is exactly perfect. And the final one is I paid attention or I got distracted. And this was a really important learning for myself as well, because we often think that getting distracted is a bad thing. But in mindfulness practice, getting distracted is actually how we learn how to focus. The moment that we recognize, the moment we become aware that we are distracted, and then bring our attention back, it's similar to one repetition in lifting weights. We get distracted again, zoom, bring our attention back, 2. Oh, I'm getting distracted again. Bring your attention back, and on and on and on. Mindfulness is a focused and relaxed attention. And these are skills that we all have the capacity to cultivate when we practice them. And we practice mindfulness to be happy and successful. Because there are skills that we can intentionally cultivate to be happy and successful. That it's not magic. That it takes practice. And the great thing is that we all can practice. So great job bringing mindfulness into your classroom. Have fun with it. Be curious and keep going.